How does an artist know when it's time to change their sound? The last time this artist was on the podcast, he was in his Heartbreak era. But now, with his latest single, Dance on the Shelf, or Dots, available now, he's in his bold, new, queer, synth-driven desire era. So join me today with my friend Justin Renaissance for the second time as we unpack this new single and see what's going on with Justin. Let's get at it. Come on. Justin, welcome back. So good to see you.
Good to see you too, Casey. I'm really excited to be here today.
Glad that you wanted to come back and share your new project. I'm super excited to hear about it because the last time you were on the podcast, we spoke that you were going into this new era of yours. Is this song "Dance on the Shelf" kind of like the first step into this new era?
Yeah, a step off the shelf into this new era.
I love it.
Don't threaten me with dad jokes. I'll do them all day long.
Bring them, give them. I love them. So, like, how does it feel now coming back and talking about this new era? Because we're changing very drastically from where we were at, kind of that heartbreaker or heartbreak sound rock ballad into this fun, really dancey, funky song. How does it feel now that you're finally here?
I think that the universe has been in alignment for me all the time. I mean, that's like the hardest thing to any artist to admit, really.
Hmm.
But for me, I had to let go of some things.
Yeah.
And really what I think I had to let go of the most was I had to let go of the fact that, I'm an older artist, I'm not, 20 years old anymore.
Fair.
Um, and that I am able to embrace my sexuality and my security in who I am in this age. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, you look at people like Freddie Mercury, and he came into that, around the same age that I am right now.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I feel like we find our power again, is realizing that we're human and that we are all pretty much the same. And so if I want to go out and, dance in clubs and have really flamboyant choreography and new amazing dancers, I'm going to do that. And so this was my opportunity to step out of my Taylor and into my Britney.
Ah, I love it. Nice callback. Nice callback. That was good. So then, I love this journey. Yes, embracing your sexuality, and yeah, that's something that I struggle with too. And I think it's from when we were starting in the music industry, even just 20 years ago, it was a very different industry. Like it was kind of like, in my view, once you hit 25, if nothing really happened, the chances of something happening were a lot slimmer because you had to appeal to that younger audience. Now things have changed and it's so accessible for artists to find an audience. Now it's like it's way more flooded with artists out there. So the competition's still there, but it's so much more accessible to find an audience. So I love that you're embracing and you're growing and you're changing because that's the funnest part about being a musician. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. There are artists out there that are in those age ranges and they're doing great work. Grant Noki, Bentley Robles, they're doing great work with
Yeah.
both queer artists and both out there, living their best lives and writing great music. And I think that is really important to know that there is no limit. You can start doing music when you're 10. Look at that little boy, I forget his name, but the one that knew all of the choreography for Lady Gaga and actually got to meet Michael Demesky,
Oh,
and it was just like, I mean, it was just incredible to like know that this kid who is 5 years old, his career is just starting, right? And
yeah.
he is able to take the limelight and to have this for however long he wants it. And maybe at some point he won't want it. And maybe at some point he'll want it back.
Right.
And I think that's something that was taught to us, most recently on the Grammys by Cher.
Mm,
Cher has been part of our culture for the last 6 to 7 decades.
right.
Wild. And so there are no more limits. We set our own limits and we get to decide when we exit. We get to decide when we come back in. We get to decide when we take it off.
Ah, there it is.
Uh,
So for people who are listening to this, Justin had a jacket on, a jean jacket, and he took it off, and he's got this nice mesh, sexy new shirt, tank top on. So definitely fitting the vibe. I love it, Justin.
the one that I wore for my album cover. I think the only difference is I kind of got to do
Yes,
this.
yeah, there it is. There's the screenshot. There's the thumbnail. I love it. So then, kind of bringing it back to the song for you. So, kind of set the stage for people who are hearing you for the first time through this single. How what does "Dance on the Shelf" mean to you? How did why was this song the first song that you wanted to release in this new era?
All of these songs are a compilation of an album that I wrote called Your Story. They were written from 10 different people from 10 different walks of life, and they each had a different story of that person, of whatever that person wanted to tell me.
Mm,
I wrote this back in 2020. And when Taylor Carroll and I sat down and we were fleshing this one out, he goes, "Well, what do you want it to be like? What kind of vibe do you want it to have?" And I immediately was like, "I want this to be like my toxic Britney, you know."
yeah.
And so, leading with that, there were a couple other songs that leaned a little bit more in that electronic dance music vibe.
Uh-huh.
And so, those are the songs that I'm releasing this year. And I wanted to lean heavy into that because I think that, that's where music naturally wants to go right now, electronic dance music. People
Mhm.
love going to EDM concerts,
Yeah.
Crossed here in San Diego is constantly sold out.
Yeah.
And people pay lots of money for it. And so,
Mhm.
looking at the industry in general, that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be fun again. I wanted to
Yes.
not sit in my heartbreak. I wanted to let that go. And then I wanted to step forward and be true to myself. Dance on the Shelf, the song itself, is about exploring that edge of sexuality. It's about exploring that edge of like, what is right? What is wrong? What do you like? What don't you like? Have do you have kinks?
Yeah.
And how far do you need to go with those in order to really make yourself a feel validated as a human being? And all of that stuff is very changeable. it,
Mhm.
it can change at a moment's notice. And I'm sure that there are some people watching this going, "Oh my god, I can't believe he's talking about sexuality." And I'm like, you know what, I think that it's really important because
Yeah.
people have sex until the day they die, right?
Yeah.
It is a big topic of conversation. Mel Robbins talks about it on her podcast. I was just listening to it again today.
Yeah.
There are lots of people who are trying to get rid of this shame that
Mhm.
we're supposed to feel based on culture about sex and about sexuality.
Right.
And I think that the more open we are about it, the more comfortable we become, not just with ourselves, but the more comfortable we become with other people when they
Exactly.
express themselves, whether it be with a mesh tank top, whether it be, if they're taking pictures like this,
Right.
whether whatever that means, really like dance on the shelf why, of why things actually matter
Right.
and what you really want to experience in life.
Mhm.
And I think that that is something that can speak to everybody because
Mhm.
we're being told we have to be in this box right now.
Yeah.
And our political culture is crap.
Mhm.
And I really feel like this is our opportunity to say, you know what? Let's go back to the 70s. Let's have Woodstock again.
Yeah.
Free love, like let's have this, renaissance
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
sexual culture again.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary in its time.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, everything that you said with the changes in, like, how there aren't any boxes anymore, like, you're free to do it, there's no longer, an age that you're allowed to be sexy up until, right? Like, there's the whole body positivity movement that's been going on for years, and now it's evolving, I think, just naturally as things do. So, kind of going from where you were at, like, the Heartbreak, style with the last song, Into the Night, that we got to talk about, was it freeing to let yourself write something so playful, so sensual? Or did you find some inner struggles with kind of that shame that you mentioned that we've been kind of taught to feel?
I would say that, so I went and wrote this with Taylor Carroll. We went kind of very Britney vibes on it. And
Mhm.
then I reproduced it just now with Ben King, who's based out of Germany.
Okay.
And Ben was giving, some disco vibes at first with this. And I was like, yeah, I guess that could be cool. And I was like, but I'm still kind of missing something from this. And so we went back and forth. And I was like, I know what I want this to be like. I
Mhm.
want to step into the club. I want there to be complete confidence from the moment the song starts. I want this to exude like machismo,
Right.
right? And
Right.
like, like queer machismo,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And I feel like it's got to be a song that people can really just want to dance to the first second they hear it.
When you mentioned that, you kinda have that, like, Britney style, that was kind of who your influence of, like, what you're hearing in your head, and that's definitely coming through. I get the funk with it as well, so who were some of your other inspirations? Because I was also hearing kind of like the funky bass line of Feel Good Inc. from the Gorillaz. Just
Yeah.
like boom, 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 like, it's just good plucking of a bass line that's groovy, and I was so who were some of your other influences?
So, influences for this, Todrick Hall. I went back to kind of queer culture and was like, okay, who had like this massively, big popular dance song? And I was like, Todrick Hall's a good reference.
Mhm.
I went back to Justin Timberlake. He's got that versatility of like funk and dance, and it's like a little bit naughty. Um,
It's
so that
sensual.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
absolutely.
mean, I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. That's why we're friends. Why we're friends. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, those are just a couple, but like I said, it stemmed from Britney, and what I didn't realize is that I was actually kind of going through this like almost like Britney process in my brain with it. It was
Okay.
kind of like, oh, I might not be like this isn't really who I am, or maybe it shouldn't be who I am, or
Right.
is this what my audience wants to hear, or is this my is this my demographic? And at the end, I just said, "Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going for it, and you only live once,
Yeah.
so let's do it."
Yeah. And if you love the music that you're making, it translates.
Yep.
Regardless if it was intended for the audience that maybe you wrote it for, it's going to find its audience regardless of people who love you and love this style. As you're kind of talking with the that kind of fear, that was going to be one of my next questions. Like, were you tiptoeing an edge? Were you like figuring out what your own edge was or your limit of how much you wanted to push? Or did you kind of rediscover each song that you're writing for this new era?
I'm I'm gonna talk a little bit about the evolution of myself as, like, just a sexual human being, right? I grew up in a very conservative, culture of Edison, New Jersey. I remember, I think we talked about this on the last podcast, the first gay kiss that there was on television on Melrose Place. I was laying there watching this and going, "Oh my god, this is actually gonna happen. They're gonna have 2 guys kiss on screen." I was 12 years old,
Yeah.
and all I can hear from the other room is just my sister screaming, "No, no, no." And I'm, like, thinking to myself, "I can never, ever allow myself to be who I am." Flash forward, 15 years old, grunge rocker, locked myself in a bedroom, taught myself how to play guitar. And here I am writing songs about not loving myself and wanting to contemplate whether I should live because I am feeling like I can't be who I really am.
Mhm.
And the high school I went to, the Catholic high school that I went to, was suppressing my expression through makeup, through, polish, through lipstick, through clothing. And I went to my public high school and I was assaulted, for people who thought I was gay because of my expression, my outward expression. And so all of these things were really forcing me to be more conservative. So even when I got to college and I was at University of the Arts in the city of brotherly love,
Mhm.
Philadelphia, I was still hesitant. Like, I remember my friend, Wimoto, was walking me back to my dorm room, and she was a couple of years older, and she looks at me and she goes, "So you're gay, right?" And I went, "I'm bi," and she goes, "Oh, honey, you're gay." And I will never forget that moment because it was like she was telling me that I was just allowed to be myself.
Mhm.
And now I think back to, when I finally got out of, my first real relationship, of 4 years, and I was like, I finally felt a little free,
Mhm.
and so these ideas started to trickle in over time,
Mhm.
if we're talking about from 15 to where I'm at now, that's a long period of time, that's 3 decades.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a constant evolution, and I feel like as adolescents, we have to go through this evolution in our discovery. We have to be able to experiment, we have to be able to express,
Yeah.
and without that, we feel like, "What's the purpose? Why am I here? I
Mhm.
can't express be who I authentically am
Mhm.
today." Somebody's gonna have an opinion of it. You know what my opinion is now?
Hmm.
Fuck
Yeah, right? Let them, right? It I love
them. Mel
RuPaul's.
Robbins says, "Let them."
Yep.
I say, "Fuck them."
You say fuck them. I love it. And it's something that RuPaul's also always said and that I always do my best to live by is what other people think of me is none of my business.
Yeah.
And it's way easier said than done, but as soon as I can let that type of feeling go, that those intrusive thoughts of who I'm supposed to be, because I grew up in a very religious, very small conservative state and town as well. So I had that inner trauma of holding hands, like always making sure I have an exit type of a thing. And so it's beautiful that you are so empowered and we need more people coming out, especially now, that are unapologetically queer, and that's one of the fun things about this song is it's unapologetically horny, and it's some would say scandalous, but it's really not if you compare it to other music, especially that we were listening to, like your Britney era, but because it's coming from a queer perspective, it's got a little bit different of an undertone, so I love it, and you mentioned kind of your grungy rocker phase, and that's some of the things I loved about your vocals in Into the Night. I hear some of your rocker, I don't think it's fully gone away, and you're like, "Ooh, ooh, wanna shoot like a star," like, I still hear
Ooh,
those.
ooh, like
Yeah,
electric guitars.
exactly. So, like, how is your voice evolving since you've had that rocker, edge, you've done really fun pop with, like, Life is Donuts, Pride Song, and now we're coming into this. What have you had to either let go of with your previous singing style, or what are you excited about, like, experimenting with now? I know it's a lot of questions all at once.
I used to shout. I mean, when I was in the rock band, it was like, for me to be able to scream at the top of my lungs, cup the mic and, "Wah, ah,"
Ah, you could do it?
that was like the most important thing for me to be able to do.
Yeah.
Now, it's I can have a more delicate voice.
Ah, okay.
I can breathe, and these are the things that I'm starting to experience with when I'm recording music. I want the audience to hear my breath. I want them to hear me breathe because I know that they're actually listening.
Yeah, I think that comes through at the very first lines, that you sing. It opens up, it's for what is, the words, "I love
I
the way you
hate the
tease
way
me."
you tease me.
Yeah, it comes through and it's like there's a lot of your vocals definitely are coming through. So how fun was that to record for you, tapping into that like real feminine side and getting right up in the mic and sexy?
Well, Taylor made it really easy. I mean, first off, Taylor's a bombshell. He's like, very, very, very sexy. I'm just gonna. I I am no holds barred on this podcast. All
There you
right.
go.
Um, what he really loved being able to kind of like flirt with the ideas that I
Hmm.
had, and so when we recorded this, he actually was the one who brought this out of me. He was the one who helped me lean
Mm,
into the night where he was like, dude, go for it. Just fucking cry it out, And
right.
then with this song, he's like, I want to hear you whisper. He's like, I want to hear the sensual side of you.
Hmm.
And that is really what I think a great producer does in general is they really bring out the parts of you that you don't even really know that yourself.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I have Ben King to thank for this as well, because I think Ben really did a great job when, you know, putting this back into production to make it what it is now. He really helped to kind of elevate that experience of the vocals,
Mhm.
where the audience can just meet me right at the first line.
Mhm.
And I love the way that this turned out.
So, kind of what started first for you with this song? Did you have your hook first? Was it the instrumental? What was the process?
The first process was the interview. I interviewed a friend of mine who actually went down a different path of story that I was telling through this. The initial story was about addiction,
Mm.
and was about, you know, dealing with somebody who is active in addiction.
Mm.
And so how that person would kind of fluctuate in and out of sobriety, and that was kind of them dancing on the shelf. Um
Okay.
and so when I was writing this, it was more so about like that person's fight with addiction. And then when I finally kind of settled into it, it transformed into this, you know, sexy kind of like expression of, you know, living on the edge and living today, and
Mhm.
not conforming to what societal norms are telling us, or what other people think. Um,
Yeah.
and sometimes not obeying the rules. And the rules are being broken by other people on the other side, who are telling us that we're supposed to conform to their rules, but they're breaking the rules. I say it's time for us to start breaking the rules that make sense for us to break.
Yeah. In your words, fuck it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it. I'm gonna do it. So, what's your favorite part of the song?
Honestly, it's the breakdown. It's the whoa, oh.
Yeah.
I love that because I wanted a dance break. You know, I
Mhm.
wanted something that I could do. And my dancers, by the way, for my House of Blue show, they knocked it out of the park with this song. And it's so good. It's so good. That dance break is everything.
Oh, how fun! So yeah, that was you're doing a lot of performing this year already. You mentioned the House of Blues. You've been doing a lot of promo with Matt.
Matt Harkenrider and Jules in the Howl. Yeah, we're all over
Yes.
social media right now. They were great to work with.
Yeah.
Matt is just super, like, he's like another heartthrob. He writes great songs, but also just, you know, very, very, very sexy guy. And it just has, you know, a lot of fun with music. Jules, she's a badass.
Yeah.
I loved working with her. She got up and she's like, okay, here's what we're doing for social media. And we just like went at it. And
I
it
was.
was like incredible. I was
Yeah.
like, I told her, I said, I have never had this much fun doing social media ever. And
Yeah. It
like,
looks
how
like
do
it.
I just take pieces of you and put that in me so that I can just do this on a regular basis?
Yeah, I love it. Where you guys are doing each other's songs. It's so fun to watch. Like the you guys are. I'm excited to like hear how everything goes with that, and if you guys get to do more things together, because there's some magic between the three of you. It's coming through on camera. So like, how did that all come to be the House of Blues performance?
Well, Jules reached out to Matt. They were playing the Troubadour together. And then
Okay.
I went and saw that show, and Jules and I just immediately like connected. We're very much the same type of like human being, where we're like, okay, we said we're going to do this, we're going to do it, right? And so Matt was like, yeah, maybe we can throw this together. And then as soon as we got on our call, like the chemistry between us just started to like develop, and it was really easy from there on out. My contact at Live Nation here in San Diego was like, "Yes, this is exactly what we want." And I'm sure that Live Nation and House of Blues are very, very, very excited to have us because of all the work that we've done thus far.
Right.
So yeah, I'm actually going to continue that trend. I want to reach out, and this is a call to action for other artists. If you live in Oklahoma, if you live in Nebraska, I don't care where you live, and you are like, I want Justin Renaissance to come out and perform with me on a set for him, a set for me. Let's sing each other's songs. whatever. I am 100% on board with this. I think that the wave of the future is for us to connect as musicians and artists. It is
Yeah.
no longer about the record labels. It is no longer about the social media. It is about what we do for each other in this community.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully said, Justin. Beautifully said. Coming up in the next year with these different types of live performances, what and you're working on the album, you got new releases. What's like a little tease that you can kind of give us fans, that's something we can hold on to as more things are coming about on your social media?
I got one sentence for you. It's RuPaul, you ain't ready for all this, because
Oh shit.
I have a song that is perfect for RuPaul's Drag Race. And my drag community here in San Diego is voluptuous, they're talented, and we are coming to that stage.
Ayo, you've heard it first. Right there. Come on, RuPaul. Comment
Yep.
below.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts? How exciting. Okay. So can you elaborate a little bit more on what that
Yeah.
okay. I was like, can we
Yeah.
talk about it?
I there's no secrets today with you.
Yay.
One of the songs that I wrote was written after my first choreographer here in San Diego. And it was about their journey about rising to a kind of royal position as a human.
Okay.
Um, and how they also felt like they were a servant up until that point. So this song is called Serve the Queen.
Okay. Okay. Is it gonna have a feature or is it a solo project with you, just you?
It's a solo song. It's
Okay.
not going to have another vocal feature,
Okay.
but it will feature members of my San Diego sister drag community.
Hey, oh, nice. What's their name? Your sister drag community, so we can shout them out.
Oh, okay. Well, my glitter zone was in my music video for Accessory, and I could not imagine doing this song, performing this song live, or doing a music video for it, which is the ideal, without Maya in it. But there are so many sisters that I have here in
Mm-hmm.
San Diego. Kixie Vixen, Chad Michaels, obviously. I
Yeah.
don't know if I can afford Chad, but I will absolutely put out the offer and ask. Strawberry Mayron is amazing. Renaissance, she is amazing. And also in alignment with what I'm doing, and she is very gaga.
Ah.
Um, my favorite, Mother Gaga.
Yes.
Uh, and yeah, there's a lot of artists that I would really love to work with here in San Diego in our drag community. Karaoke, Mole. There, I mean, the list goes on and 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 on. If a place for a wonderful drag and you just want to come visit, San Diego is the place to visit. And then
Yeah.
any one of the nightclubs, number one on Fifth, Urban Mo's, Riches, you will be able to find fantastic drag on
Mm-hmm.
a regular nightly basis here.
Yeah, and it's just a beautiful place. I got the opportunity to visit just briefly in June last year, and it was so beautiful just to walk around. We were there for the weekend, and there was the farmers market, the different craft markets out there. Like it's just such a beautiful, walkable city, and I felt safe, which is not where I always the feeling that I get everywhere that I travel. So it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Highly recommend San Diego.
Yeah. So City of San Diego can send my check.
Yep.
Uh
Not sponsored by the city of San Diego, but maybe in the
Uh-huh.
future.
Mayor Todd Gloria, I know
Yeah.
that you already gave me an honor last year for being a fabulous entertainer. This year, you can write a big check to me and that'll be fine.
Yes, we need to elevate every year what we're getting, right? Till we get a
Right.
key and then we get a day.
Well, speaking of which, that's something else that I want to share with the fans out there is that I am at the point now as a executive vice president of the Human Dignity Foundation, a LGBTQ nonprofit that supports other LGBTQ organizations inside the community and also helps to fund the HIV collaborative
Mm.
um, through Red Dress Party and through Possibilities and other great organizations. We are still funding HIV research, housing, and care
Mm,
So I am now working inside of that organization as well. Every single show that I do, portion of the proceeds will go towards the Human Dignity Foundation for our grant cycles, scholarships, and for the HIV Collaborative.
mm.
So
Beautiful.
that is an incentive for people to go and contribute to, because I will take that money and I will put it back to the organization. With that said, I'm going back to New Jersey in April this year to be inducted into my high school Hall of Honor.
What?
Yes. And
Congratulations.
and it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very nostalgic because this was the high school I was assaulted at.
Right. And you couldn't be your
That
own
assault
self.
is what's causing me to do the work that I'm doing now, to
Yeah.
write the music that I'm writing now. And I am going back to that high school to be celebrated for the nonprofit work that I do for my music. And up on that wall in my high school hall is also David Bryant from Bon Jovi. So
Hell. Oh my God.
doesn't hurt status.
No. What an amazing accomplishment, Justin. Wow. You should
Thank
feel
you.
so proud of yourself. What I can't imagine what you should be like, what you could be feeling there. Just the pride, the joy, the freedom, the validation, the acceptance, just your growth. I think to also be able to walk back there after your experiences with your head held high and say, yes, thank you, regardless of my experience, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, not a lot
And
of people could do that.
this is also a testament to anyone out there who feels like things are hard right now, that they are struggling, no matter what age you are, we get to choose what our next steps are in life. And while it may feel like you're stunted or you're stuck, there's always somebody there to help you. And so, you know, as hard as it can be sometimes to convince ourselves out of that dark place, find the light because it's there and lean into the light and lean into who you truly, truly are unapologetically.
So then, now what do you hope people feel the first time they hear Dots or Dance on the Shelf? Because it's a bop.
I want people to get up and dance. That's
Mm-hmm.
all I want. That's all I want. That's my only expectation. I want people to get up and dance. I want DJs to play it in clubs. I want people to remix it, use it on your TikTok, use it on your Snapchat, put it everywhere because honestly, it's a song that just expresses so much freedom.
And it's gonna get stuck in your head. I'm proof. I'm proof. It's one of my favorite things. Dance on the shelf. I love the slide. It's such a fun song, Justin. You should be very, very proud. And I'm excited to see what 2026 looks like for you. Your album, the next song's coming out. Like, it's just the sky is the limit for you. And I'm so proud of you for all of your growth that you've done just from the last time that we got to chat and just the person that you are. So thank you for wanting to come back on here and share about your new song and what you're going through. It means a lot. So thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're a godsend to our community.
Thank you.
And I am definitely telling all of my friends and artists about you and your podcast, amazing podcast, because you're doing amazing work as well. So
Thank
I
you.
don't want that to go unnoticed. You're an incredible human being, and I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I love you too. Thank you. So, how can people follow you and support this release? It's released everywhere now that this is live. Where else can we support you?
So just go to my Instagram is the best way. You can go to Justin Renaissance. And for people, I've had multiple instances where people are like, I can't find you. I'm typing in Renaissance. I said, okay, so Renaissance has a AI. There is a little bit of AI in Renaissance. So Justin, RENAISSANCE. And honestly, the social media is just used as an avenue. If you really, really, really want to connect with me, I do all of my announcements and all of my, uh, you know, just information. And I don't send out spam. I think I sent out maybe a little one or two, maybe three emails a year, but I do it through email now. So make sure I have your email address. Tell me who you are. Tell me your story. I love hearing other people's stories and how the music has made your life a better you.
Beautiful. All right, well, that's the podcast for today. Thank you again, Justin, for joining me. Remember to download Justin's song everywhere that you can get it. It's Dots, Dance on the Shelf. It is a bop. You definitely want to have this. And then comment below. Let us know, how are you self-expressing? What do you do to show your authenticity to the world? Comment below. Let us know. All right, remember to be kind to others, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Till next time, peace.